Well, Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, tells me they're not done taking legal action following their lively.
Absolutely.
You will?
Yes.
And what will you allege in that suit?
Well,
there he is, Justin Baldoni's lawyer, emerging from the courthouse after a jaw-dropping turn of events. No gag order for Blake Lively. This legal drama has just escalated to a whole new level. Both Blake and Justin's legal teams walked in thinking it was going to be just another routine pretrial meeting, nothing too exciting. But suddenly, it became clear that this was no ordinary fight. The gag order everyone assumed would go through without a hitch, denied in an instant. The tension in the room shot up like a rocket. Rumors started flying that Blake's legal team had a bold new game plan, one that was all about taking the offensive, not just defending. And just when you thought it couldn't get more intense, Blake's team dropped a bomb. They set a deadline. By Valentine's Day, they promised to hit back with a counterstrike. No one knew what it would look like, but the mere mention of an upcoming legal bombshell was enough to send shockwaves through the crowd, sparking a frenzy of wild speculation. Reporters were practically fighting for any scrap of info. Some insiders hinted that there were powerful forces working behind the scenes, pushing.
Working under an editor, she said the most difficult person that she has ever worked with and the rudest person that she had ever worked with was Blake Lively.
For something big. Others whispered that Blake's team was quietly gathering sworn statements from key figures who weren't even on the court records yet. Meanwhile, Justin's lawyer, Brian Friedman, made a brief media statement, insisting his client's innocence would soon be exposed. Amid all the courtroom chaos, one thing was certain. Both sides were laser-focused on controlling the story, not necessarily on settling the case. Would this strategy work, or would it blow up in their faces? It was anyone's guess, but one thing was crystal clear. The drama was undeniable. The speculation was off the charts. How far would this go? Who would get dragged into the mess? By the end of the hearing, the only thing everyone knew for sure was this. This legal showdown is just beginning, and its ripple effects are bound to go far beyond the courthouse. But that was only the start. The first crack in a story that's about to explode. What really had everyone talking were some harsh words directed at people once seen as loyal allies. One thread, in particular, showed how a simple conversation about script changes quickly escalated into accusations of sabotage and behind-the-scenes blame games. These people, who once strutted around as if they were an unstoppable force, now appeared to have cracks in their armor, and these cracks might have been there far longer than anyone realized. Was this a genuine attempt to clear justice?
Yeah.
For some reason, she doesn't have a sh for socks. She has a C for socks. So she's like, yay!
Name, or was it all part of a calculated smear campaign aimed at taking down other key players? Either way, it made everyone following the case ask, how much of Hollywood's shiny, flawless image is just a clever illusion? And if that wasn't enough to stir the pot, the website footer included a cryptic message teasing that even more bombshells, perhaps even more shocking than this, were on the way. The entire situation felt like a high-stakes chess game, each side trying to outmaneuver the other with surprise moves. But those who thought the timeline was the most shocking development had no idea about Ryan Reynolds' jaw-dropping change of heart. Ryan had once been seen as one of Justin's closest allies. In the early days, the two were often photographed together at charity events, fundraisers, and intimate get-togethers, exchanging smiles, kind words, and glowing interviews. At one point, Ryan even called Justin a wonderful collaborator, praising his passion and dedication to every project. At the time, it seemed like the perfect friendship, especially with the way they presented themselves to the public. But that image shattered when private texts from just a few months later surfaced. In these messages, Ryan allegedly referred to Justin as a deranged predator, a bombshell that left fans in complete shock, especially those who believed the two men had a bond based on respect and camaraderie. It was a complete turnaround from Ryan's earlier praise. Fans immediately wanted to know, what happened? Did Ryan learn something new, or was he somehow pressured into this drastic shift? Speculation exploded, from creative clashes to accusations.
And honestly, directing myself, a lot of that had to do with, the brilliance of Blake Lively and being able to
that cast a dark shadow over the final stages of production. Some conspiracy theorists even suggested that these sudden reversals were part of a well-orchestrated plot by a rival camp to drive a wedge between these two high-profile names. Amidst all this chaos, Blake stepped up as a fierce defender, not only of her own reputation but also of her closest friends, especially Taylor Swift. Reports quickly surfaced that Blake was pushing for a special protective order aimed at stopping the massive dragnet of discovery from ensnaring innocent third parties. This bold move hinted that the legal battle could pull in some seriously high-profile names, people who might have exchanged texts, emails, or sensitive information at any point. And when Taylor Swift's name got thrown into the mix, public interest shot through the roof. The burning question on everyone's mind? Had the pop sensation unknowingly become entangled in this wild mess? One thing was clear, Blake wasn't backing down. She was ready to fight tooth and nail in court, especially if it meant shielding her inner circle from unwanted exposure. With the tension already at a boiling point, people started wondering, would this protective order be enough, or was it just a sign that things were about to spiral even further? For those watching this unfold day by day, it felt like a ticking time bomb, with the fuse burning ever closer to a massive explosion. Then came the revelation about the intimacy coordinator, an innocuous title that, in this case, hinted at how deep this issue might actually go. While the role sounds like a behind-the-scenes formality, it often signals extra caution when filming sensitive scenes. But the rumors? They were something else. Some claimed the intimacy coordinator could stir up major conflicts over creative direction, personal boundaries, and who to blame if things went south. Allegedly, the coordinator had organized a key meeting, one that many cast members attended, eager to discuss potential issues and ensure everyone felt safe. But where was Blake? She was mysteriously absent. At first,
act with this powerhouse and react in real time, and she was so generous.
Some tried to brush off her absence as just a scheduling conflict or personal decision, but others jumped on it, speculating that there were unspoken tensions, awkward interactions, and hidden grudges that might have triggered the whole controversy. Critics of the production pointed to these secretive moments as proof that much bigger scandals could be lurking beneath Hollywood's shiny, flawless PR surface. Blake's defenders quickly jumped in, insisting that she was already well-versed in on-set protocols and didn't need a refresher. But by now, the situation had spiraled into a tangled web, involving not just the stars but also the lesser-known crew members who were being questioned about everything, from the fine details of their NDAs to how long their private meetings had lasted. And what no one saw coming was that the testimonies from various cast and crew members were about to take this wild ride to an entirely new level. Until recently, several key figures had stood firmly by Justin Baldoni. Take Brandon Siner, for example, a close collaborator of Justin's, who had once gushed about his warmth and collaborative nature. Publicly, everything seemed perfect. No tension on set, the cast bonding like a family, and morale soaring high. It was the kind of Hollywood fairy tale everyone wanted to believe in. But that illusion shattered when leaked text messages revealed a shocking truth. In these private exchanges, the very people who had once praised Justin now expressed deep concern, and in some cases, outright distrust. Some admitted they felt pressured to smile for the cameras, knowing there'd be serious consequences if they didn't stick to the company narrative. The difference between the glossy public image and the messy reality behind the scenes was striking, and it made everyone wonder, what was really going on? It forced the public to confront a chilling truth. Hollywood wasn't just about sparkling red carpet smiles. There was a darker...
And Colleen, this story is so personal to you. Tell me why Blake and Brandon were the ones.
more raw world lurking in the shadows, filled with unspoken tensions and contradictions. As for Blake, she too had once earned praise for her warmth and her ability to make everyone feel at ease. Cast and crew fondly remembered her thoughtful gestures, gifts, casual hangouts, and that personal touch that lifted spirits on set. But that story didn't match up with her current role as the mastermind behind a savage legal battle. She was preparing to drop bombshell documents that could annihilate reputations, and fans couldn't help but wonder, were those warm memories just part of the Hollywood act, shallow niceties meant to protect her own image? Or was there once real goodwill, now buried beneath layers of betrayal and hidden motives? With each new twist, it became more apparent. This was no simple tale. The laughter once shared on talk shows now felt like a lifetime ago, as those who once joked together were now speaking through lawyers and carefully worded statements. The drama had spiraled far beyond the usual celebrity gossip, revealing the high-stakes game where a single document leak or a few telling texts could tear reputations and friendships apart in an instant. But this wasn't just about a personal dispute. It was clear that the fallout from this case could forever alter how Hollywood handles its internal messes. Blake's push for a protective order, meant to shield third parties like Taylor Swift from being swept up in the Discovery dragnet, showed that no one, no matter how famous, was safe from being dragged into this legal circus. And with the Valentine's Day deadline looming, the pressure kept building. The speculation was non-stop. Once Blake's team launched their counterattack, would the floodgates open wide? Would even more text exchanges, insider accounts, Or explosive depositions be unleashed? Could buried emails or suppressed video footage finally be brought to light? And if they did, how would it change the public's perception of the major players caught up in this mess? But the stakes...
I mean, honestly, the way that I get into a character is through their style. So it was more about who Lily...
Far more than just who was telling what. This could have lasting repercussions. Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, and other A-listers usually have enough clout to weather most scandals. But this time, it felt like even they might be facing real, long-term damage. Would studios still want to hire someone mired in such a public legal circus? And would fans stay loyal if the final revelations were too shocking to digest? As the drama played out and each new leak dropped, one thing became crystal clear. This storm was far from over. Justin Baldoni's position couldn't be clearer, backed by a mountain of documents and a polished website that exudes confidence in his version of the truth. Ryan Reynolds' stunning flip, from calling Justin a trusted collaborator to labeling him a danger, screams of a simmering tension that had likely been brewing for much longer than anyone realized. Meanwhile, Blake Lively made it abundantly clear she's not just fighting for her reputation, but for her friends and her brand too. Even if it means dropping a legal bomb right in the middle of this explosive public showdown. But what really turns up the heat are the questions surrounding all those glowing testimonials from...
Do you plan to sue Blake Lively?
Absolutely.
You will?
Yes.
And what will you allege in that suit?
Well, we're working on it now.
The cast. What happened to those heartwarming stories when whispers from behind the scenes revealed an entirely different story? The contrast is jarring. The public show of unity, now shattered by private tensions leaking out. Who can be trusted, and who's playing the game? This is no mere legal battle. It's a Hollywood thriller packed with espionage, shifting alliances, and all-out betrayal. Protective orders sought for pop stars, explosive motions filed in court. It's all building toward a crescendo that could send shockwaves through the entire industry. The big question remains, can any of these shattered relationships ever heal now that so many skeletons are being paraded in front of the world? This could be a wake-up call for everyone living in the spotlight. The digital age doesn't leave much room for secrecy.
Between the co-stars, Friedman insists the truth is in those documents and that Blake Lively is the one who used her power and influence to take control of the film. Lively.
And those friendships that seem so strong on camera can crumble in an instant once doubt creeps in. If there's one lesson to take away from this chaotic mess, it's that no amount of fame or fortune can protect you when a storm like this hits. With so many moving pieces still in play, there's only one thing we know for sure. The next twist could completely flip the script, catching us all off guard. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and who knows what explosive bombshell is waiting to drop. As this saga continues to unfold, there's always something new just around the corner. Don't miss out on the next jaw-dropping revelation. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're the first to know when the truth finally breaks loose.